Hi friends, welcome to this week's How To Tuesday. Very excited, very excited, very excited. I love playing with color. I love coming up with ideas, and I realized this morning I say a lot that I'm really excited about this project. I don't know if you guys understand that or know, but I spend a lot of time thinking about projects before I actually bring them to you guys. So when I say that, it's true because I have been thinking about it for months, weeks and months beforehand, and figuring out how I was going to do it before I even present it to you guys. So it gives me the, gives me the leeway to get excited about what it is that I'm going to show you guys. So I'm excited. I'm always excited. Otherwise I wouldn't bring it to you, right? That'd be kind of silly. So before I get started, thank you so much for being here. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a original OG, thank you so much for being here and continuing to come back and support. Really quick little housekeeping. I will be, after June 30th, putting all of any new content for my How To Tuesdays on my Patreon channel only, and I will have a link in the description box if you are interested in checking it out. If you're someone who's been watching my videos but hasn't joined the Patreon group and you want new content, you'll have to go there after June 30th. I will keep the remaining of what I put up, over 100 videos. I think I have over 200 videos now, potentially, I think so, on YouTube. Those will stay. Anything new though will go to my Patreon channel. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited to build like this, super personal, fun, just community over on Patreon, to where it's just me and my peeps just hanging out. So I would love for you to come and join us there. Okay. What we're doing today is, last week we did the tribute, the ode to Black Bean, because why not? Because he's so flippin' fabulous. But it was a lot of blendy. A lot of color, but a lot of blendy. And some people like that, some people don't like that. So I thought I would stick with the color theme, but we were going to do not blendy. We were going to work with Uni Posca paint pens. And then I also have my Artistro acrylic paint pen markers, which are similar to the Uni Posca paint pens. Let me see if I can get these out. They're just, different format and different color selection. But they're Artistro acrylic markers, paint markers. And they're really good. They're just as equally as good. But I have not used them as much as I have my Uni Posca paint pens. Same idea though. Same idea. They just are built a little differently in terms of, the packaging. But they have the felt tip. And they do come in different sizes, smaller and bigger. So like these have the chisel tip. The big beefy ones, I love these guys. These have the chisel tip on them, but they can go as fine as, let me see if I can find that. They have this one where it's a super fine, this is still like a felt tip. And then my favorite, if I can find it, of course, when I'm on command, I can't find it. It's, is it like this? Yeah. I have, this is like a, kind of like a ballpoint pen in a way, but it's not felt, and I like it a lot because it's one, that it can get super fine detail, but also like after time, the felt tip you have to be careful with, even on paper. We're going to work on wood today, or I am, but even on paper you have to, with the felt tip, you have to just, be patient, because it does tend to get a little fuzzy. So, I mean, you can just cut it off or pick it off or whatever and it's fine, but you want to, when you're trying to make a clean line and all of a sudden a little fuzzy bit pops out. This type of tip only comes in this size though, so you can't get it any bigger, which is a bummer. But these are also very cool on the flip side, on the silver lining side, is that they are really cool for detail and finishing and refining work and stuff. Like I said, and then the Artistros are just their acrylic paint pens. Both of them are acrylic. We are working in acrylic. I'm not sure if everybody realizes it's actually an acrylic paint in pen form. So you use it a lot like an acrylic paint. It just gives you a little more freedom, or a little more, not freedom, a little more control, I guess, / freedom, because you can, control, as opposed to working with a paintbrush, right? You can control a little bit more. And some people who are new to acrylics, I would suggest, they don't work exactly like a fluid acrylic or an acrylic from a, a bottle or a tube, because they're, the acrylic is in here and you can only control it via the pen tip. But it is a good way to get an idea of how acrylic paint works. I personally, out of all mediums, I think acrylic is my favorite, because it's so forgiving. Because you can just dry it and paint over it and dry it and paint over it, and you could do that for 1,000. It doesn't matter. And it's also instant gratification because it dries rather quickly. So good reasons to love it. So I have my whole big old tub here. I mean, I'm looking at these colors. Look at those colors together. I'm eyeballing these colors and I'm already like, I can't wait to get started. Let's see. We have also like the Artistro. This is the type of tip on this. If that's like what I would consider the medium. And then this would be the extra fine. And then this would be the big mama jamma. Chisel tip. I mean, come on. These pens, you guys, if you've never worked with one of these this size, it's just magic. It's so nice. And I love this color. This is aqua green. If you know me, if you followed me at all, you know I'm obsessed with pretty much anything that's aqua green. Who knew? I didn't, certainly. Okay. Okay, so, and then I was gonna, I thought about painting this with clear gesso. I grabbed my clear gesso, but I wasn't like, I'm like, do I want to leave it wood in the background? And normally I'm a girl who loves the wood, but this is kind of a plain. It's like, I think it's a pine or something. It's super plain, so it's not super like, ooh, wow, gorgeous wood. And I did do some samples on the back because I wanted to see if I went in with marker, because I was playing with my Sharpies to see what they would do if I did a seal, a clear gesso seal, and then just raw wood. They both work. The difference is with the gesso, things don't bleed. Like when I put the white pen in, let me see if I can do it with this. When I put the white pen in here, let's see, let me go down closer. Remind me guys to zoom back out. When I put the white pen here, well, it's actually not as bad. This one, it stays. Maybe it's because it's dried a little bit more. No, these bleed. It bleeds into the wood just like the marker did. Like here, here's this marker. Let me do the thin one. This marker, it starts to bleed a little. Or this marker, it just stays. The only thing that's not great about, and it can be taken care of, but I'm not going to do it today, is that once you put the gesso on, like you can see these started to bleed too. Once you put the gesso on, it raises the tooth of the grain of the wood, so you get a little rougher surface. You can sand that down. I'm not going to. I don't want to. I don't want to take the time to do that, so I'm not going to. But you can if you want to. And then you can go in and just dust it off and then go ahead and do your work and stuff. All you're doing with the gesso is sealing the wood so that it doesn't spread when you're working and absorb quicker. It sits on the surface and takes a little bit more time to absorb in. So I was hoping that the raw wood would work so I wouldn't have to do the gesso step, but I think I'm going to do the gesso step. So with that being said, you can use clear gesso. I'm going to use my Holbein yellow ochre gesso because it makes me so happy. So I'm going to use that. Do I love this packaging? I love this. I think this is fun. Do I like this? No, because it's really hard to control. I prefer a smaller hole when it comes to this kind of stuff, this kind of packaging, because it comes out too quick, unfortunately. So you just be careful. It's a forewarning, just be careful. So I'm going to clean up a little bit. I also feel like I'm all over the place because I'm so excited to get started. I also just grabbed a pencil and my Click It eraser. The thing with the gesso, once the gesso's down and you draw on top of it, it doesn't erase like, wow, that's amazing. It can a little, so be very careful with your lines, or it doesn't matter, you can just paint over it because it's acrylic paint. So yay! I just wanted to give you the heads up on the erasing. It's not always perfect. But we're going to do color today, lots of color, but not a lot of blendy. We're going to do like solid blocks of color, okay? We're still going to play with fun wonky shapes and faces and stuff, and because that makes my heart sing. So we're going to do that, but we're not going to do blendy or scratchy. We're not going to do that like Holbein does. We're going to, or Holbein, that would be Holbein, like Black Bean does. We're just going to do blocks of color. So, okay, it'll make more sense. Let me straighten up and then we'll get started. Thank you so much. And remember, you guys, at the end of this month, any new content for this, my Out to Tuesdays, will be on my Patreon channel only. Okay, so I hope to see you there. I hope you come and hang out with us. I'm very excited for us to get to know each other better. Okay, all right, let's get started.